All right. Let's see here. What we got here? Now, here in this tweed case, now I know what you're thinking. You see a tweed case, and the first thought you get in your head is a vintage American Fender, right? Look at this beautiful case. This case specifically features 4 latches. Now, I'm not sure the make of this case. I got it from a music store called Any Road Music, a guy named Don, back in about 2009. It's a great case. He threw it in with the guitar that's inside. Now, the guitar that's inside's got a bit of a story to it. As you see here, right away, you see a Firebird body, and that Firebird body I ordered off of eBay. And what's this? What's this? A Telecaster style neck. Now, like I said, I had ordered this Epiphone Firebird right off of eBay, approximately 2003, 2004. It was listed as a rebuild guitar. It was painted black at the time, and I was young. I was in high school. I ordered this thing thinking that I would restore it myself. Came with the plastics that you see here, so I had the pickup rings and the pick guard. That was about it. I bought the guitar, and we'll fast forward a little to about 2009 because I hadn't done anything with it yet. I'd walked into a music store in Winnemucca, Nevada, and when I walked in, I picked up this. There was a low-level Telecaster. It was a no-name knockoff brand. When I picked it up, the first thing that I noticed was this fingerboard is scalloped out. And it was the most interesting fingerboard I had ever played on. And I loved it to death. I wasn't a fan of the look. I was never a fan of the Telecaster look until recently, about a year ago. I've been considering getting myself my first Telecaster, but that's neither here nor there. Now, I took the guitar up to the guy that worked there, and I'm like, "Did you do this?" He's like, "Yeah, I scalped it out myself." And I asked him, I'm like, "Could you put this neck on a different guitar body?" And he's like, "Sure." So I went home and I dug up this guitar body. The guitar body had originally come, like I said, it came black, and I had taken an adventure and tried to paint it this. I tried to paint it this wild blue, almost Pelham blue, with like a tinge of purple to it. And my idea was, I'm gonna spray paint this guitar down, order the parts that I need. I'm gonna wire it up myself, and it took on this really ambitious project. And I ordered it in. I painted the guitar, and it sat. It sat for a long time. I didn't realize how much things like pickups cost, and not that they were super expensive compared to now, but the project was a bit more than I could chew. So this guy in Any Road Music's like, "Yeah, I can slap this onto any body." So I bring in the body with the neck. I had the neck at the time, and I ask him to put that neck on this body. And so, he pointed out to me that he would have to adjust the scale length out to the 25 1/4 that Fender uses, which I was more than fine with. That guitar that he had it on played phenomenally. So puts it together, and I asked for a very specific paint job. I wanted the wings of the body, I wanted them red, and the center and sides of the body I wanted black. And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds fantastic." So I leave it with him, and fast forward like a week or so later, and it's ready. I go to pick it up, and he had done this bit of a relicing job. So it turns out he sanded down on a wing first, and he got underneath the paint that I had put on, and it was black. And he went further, and the original color of the guitar was red, and I did not know that at the time. So with the original color being red, he sanded my paint off the center until it became a uniform black, and then sanded the wings down until they were red. And since he sanded and didn't do any painting, there was some exposed wood, and he just thought it was the coolest thing with the relicing. And I didn't really have the heart to tell him that I didn't really like the paint job. Like I liked that it accomplished what I wanted, but you know, like it looked like a crappy old guitar. I didn't understand people that were into relicing at the time, so I just didn't appreciate it for what it was at the time. And at the time he had put in, I asked him to put in all Gibson hardware. I wanted Gibson everything because, you know, that's the name I knew. That's what I was gonna go after. And so he gets it all wired up, and the pickups that were in there were Epiphone humbuckers. I didn't know they were Epiphone. I paid this guy about $600 for all the work involved, and you know, not that it was, I don't know, at that price I could have bought my own. I could have bought a used Gibson at that price, but you know, it was unique. It was unique to me. The tuning knobs that I had on there, I requested specifically the Grover 18-to-1s. That's what I got, and you know, with the scallop neck and stuff, it's definitely unique. You know, after about a few years, it started playing horribly. The neck slowly worked its way out of alignment, and it ended up sitting in my closet for quite a number of years. Recently, I took this guitar down to Dan at Musical Mechanix, and you know, asked him for a little bit of a spruce up. He took it apart, reset the neck, reset the truss rod. I guess the truss rod's to a point where it's maxed out, so this neck's not going to last me forever. My favorite thing that he did to this, well, he did quite a number of things, but I'm really happy that he cleaned up the paint job to what I wanted. This guitar definitely looks a lot closer now to what I was expecting than what I had received initially. He also upgraded the pickups. The pickups are Alumitone Deathbuckers. He handed me a bunch of guitars that he had in his shop, and as I'm going through the guitars, he handed me one with these pickups, and the clarity in those pickups were just blew my mind. And so I said, I gotta have these pickups, you know, I gotta have these specific pickups. So he wired them in for me. And additionally, he wired a push-pull coil split for the guitar, so that was amazing as well. So yeah, I mean, we're looking at quite the interesting marriage here with Fender and Gibson styles brought into the same guitar. Now, when I do the coil split, it does very much get Fender-esque tones. You know, there's a lot of argument on the internet whether the difference in tone is just it being single coil or humbucker, but you know, I don't know. I feel like scale length has a lot to do with it. I could be wrong, but you know, everybody and their mother's got a different opinion. Neck joint angle makes a difference, scale length, tone woods, yada yada, so on and so forth. I definitely agree that electronics makes the biggest difference, but I mean, if you look at like Eddie Van Halen's Frankenstrat, he had a Gibson pickup in a Fender Stratocaster, and that thing did not sound like a Fender Stratocaster, but it didn't quite sound like a Gibson either. So anyways, this is my Epiphone. I would be happy to give you tones. I actually ordered a Hughes and Kettner amplifier with the direct in, and so once I get that in, I will actually be doing a project where I go through the ground system. Recently I've been getting a lot of noise through the guitar, so I'm going to do a copper tape job on the inside to give it a bit of a Faraday cage to get the electronic noise out, and then I'm going to be redoing a lot of the ground system. One of my viewers was telling me he had problems with his Gibson SG, and so my SG is not having that same problem. So since this one is, it's probably going to be my next video going through the ground system. And then another requested video was leveling out the pickups on the SG, so keep an eye out for that, probably either next week or the week after. Thank you so much for joining me today. Once we get the ground system sorted out on this one, I will be giving you tones through the new Hughes and Kettner amplifier that I've ordered in. Stay tuned.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for choosing my channel. If you'd like to subscribe, please click up here. If you would like to watch my latest guitar video, please click over here. If you would like to watch my latest piano practice video, please click here. And if you would like to watch my latest outdoor/mountain bike video, please click here. You have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.